Yo ho ho, my hearties, all none of you, and welcome to another game of Dota 2, another high-ranked immortal pub with some pros in it, but I don't remember who they are, nor do I particularly care, because I just want to talk about Dota. I want to talk about some things that probably aren't Dota. I don't know, I'm just going to say words into a microphone and see what happens. Let's stay on directed camera for this game. I don't feel like trying a huge amount. We're going to be on directed camera because I don't want to have to split my focus between speaking and looking at the map, which you'd think I would have to do anyway, but it's surprisingly a lot harder. Now, we do see the standard techie start of just HP regen. I don't know how to play techies. I don't want to know how to play. I kind of do want to know how to play techies, actually, because I like irritating people, and God, there's not much more irritating for both teams than a techies. It's very efficient in that regard. But yeah, an interesting draft. It's going to be not a Viper TA mid, which is weird, because I would have thought maybe you'd have that since it's a guaranteed Magnus, please shut the ever-loving fuck up. That would be very nice of you. But I'm surprised they're not running the Viper mid. It's obviously a free matchup into the TA. I don't know how Invoker is into that matchup. I think he's okay. And we have a pause coming out immediately before the horn. That's really what I want to see. And the directed camera is not doing me much good at all. We're just watching the techies get ready to blow himself up on the rune spot. Which, yeah, that might actually get somewhere. Yeah, but no, it's a bit of an odd mid matchup. You can definitely run the Invoker somewhere else if you absolutely have to, and it would give you a free mid. But you know what? They're laning against the Spectre, actually, so it's still, yeah, that's still a really strong matchup. Viper seems kind of like a god pick this game. I don't know what phase it was. I assume it was 9-10 picked. Or maybe they just got really unlucky. No, it had to be 9-10 picked. You don't pick TA Spectre into a Viper. That would just be rather stupid. Yeah, that must be a late draft. But yeah, it demolishes TA, it demolishes Spectre because it gets rid of the passive. So I would certainly give this draft in general to the Radiant. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, it would be poor to know exactly when the game ended the whole time. That would be not great. It's not like I didn't just do an entire cast where that was, in fact, the case. Auto director, directed camera, taking us around. You know what? Let's get rid of that. That's not the one, is it? That's the one. I don't want to close ourselves out of that. But yeah, the mid matchup. I don't know about Invoker TA. I could see that going both ways. I could definitely see that going both ways, depending on skill. But I don't know about the intricacies. Does look like we have a Magnus 5. It seems like overkill with a Sven who has inbuilt cleave, but I guess more cleave is better. Why have one lot of cleave when you can have two? I hope he goes Battle Fury as well, just for that absolute one-shot machinery that he will be able to put out. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I mean, it's probably not a very good build, Battle Fury Sven, but it would probably work in my pubs, is all I'm gonna say. Not that I would do it, because the Battle Fury Sven position 5. I think it's ambitious. Let's put it that way. But the safe lane matchup, or the bottom lane matchup rather, is going to be Sven into Legion Commander with a Magnus, and I assume a Techies. I have no commentary on that one. I think Legion's good here, but both supports are just really annoying. And it doesn't matter if Sven gets dumpstered in lane, because he has a Magnus and cleave. He's going to farm up in 5 minutes and be good. What were the runes? It was a 2-2 split. That's alright, actually. It looks like Undying's just going to chase down the Disco Pony and give him a few love taps. I am very curious about this mid lane, but the director is more curious about watching Leshrac walk behind his tier 2 towers. Top lane, this goes to Viper. Viper just wins this lane, and if with lacking a support as they currently are, because Techies looks to be going for an early kill on the Viper, which may actually really change how this matchup plays. That might change a lot getting that early kill, but it does leave Legion to get a little bit bullied early on. She seems to be doing alright though. I think she picked up the range creep with that Q I didn't quite see, and now Techies is down and will be incessant. Very annoying. High armor, high attack range, but also just a really shit attack. No damage, it's just annoying, and it never stops. It's like dying to a moth. A moth that does occasionally blow itself up on you, as demonstrated. Now, not playing it in the classical style, by which I mean House or Action Slacks plays it, but probably reasonable. Lesh gets a little bit of the courier snipe onto the Undying, but I am surprised. Yeah, smart play from the Techies to start off top and go for the first blood on the Viper. It's really set Spectre up for a much better lane. Oh, yeah, that's not easy. I think I saw a Nether Toxin first level, and that's really going to set the Viper back if he can't actually play off it and gets behind in XP and gold as he starts to. Now we do see a little bit of interplay. Techies is going to give Legion primarily solo XP, and she's not being zoned out, so this will definitely play into the Legion's hands as the lane goes on. A lot of solo XP is going to make it very hard for, on low items, the Sven to stand in this lane 1v1. Certainly until Morbid Mask. It's going to be difficult because he'll just get out-sustained by a moment. And we do see up top, yeah, the Viper's having a really hard time. Leshrac not actually assisting at all, and he's going to die again by the looks of it. There should be, yeah, one last right click from the Spectre will bring him down. That's... and another 2 split Earths missed in a row. That Viper is moulding right now. You can feel it. And there goes all of TA's mana. Not what you want. You do need that. The refraction costs quite a lot. And he looks like he's going for another split Earth. Will he miss it again? But they have the slow from the Viper now, so they are going to finally be able to kill the Undying. It may be he gets a Soul Rip and another 2 decay stacks, but he might just barely tick out to Viper Poison. Yeah, he will in the end. But in many ways you almost want that as Undying, because you're Undying. You just use up all your mana, you annoy them, you hit them, you use up all your health, and you die, and you come back and you do it again. And you tend to end up better because you're depleting. Your resources are sort of worth less, in a way. You know, 1 point of health for you is not worth quite as much as a point of health for the farming core. And you are making space for your Spectre to farm. So if you're dying and your Spectre's hitting creeps into a lane that's probably not very good. Speaking of a lane that's not very good, it appears like it might just be a pickup on the TA, but we're not going to see it. But it turns out we're fine, because the TA got away on 1 HP anyway, whereas the Viper also is going to get away on 1 HP. He's having a remarkably hard time for what should be a relatively good lane. However, even with a bad lane, the counter is innate to the kit, so he just needs to drop it in the fight late game. And so long, if the Spectre isn't in BKB, it's gonna really neuter Spectre. I do think Dire are gonna have to outplay pretty hard. Not only that, they have a very greedy lineup. They have an Undying who is an early game fighting hero, and then they have Spectre TA, both heroes that take space for the first 15 minutes, take a while to get online. Though doing a very good job trading back and forth with a Viper and a Leshrac without too much difficulty. And then they have a Techies. Techies does not... well, Techies is not going to make your space for you. As far as I understand, Techies, it keeps your space. You make the space, Techies makes sure they can't get it back, but you have to take it in the first place. And the only person in this entire draft who can do that is Legion. So it's all, this whole early game, as far as I can see, is on Legion. And I don't think this is a very good draft. I think this offlaner is going to have to play out of their mind to actually pull this off. Certainly because Sven's going to hit his timings Sven's going to hit his power spike much faster than the Spectre will, because his ult does that for him. His ult is very powerful. It's better than Haunt in terms of straight up fighting. And he needs a lot less. He can get by with just a Mask of Madness or something and be very powerful in a fight. Spectre can't do that. Spectre needs more. We do see, though, yeah, that mid lane seems to be going both ways, both almost picking up kills on each other. But we are a little bit, I'm worried about this Legion, who is actually now struggling to stand in lane against Sven to some extent, doing alright at the moment. The pony pops down towards mid, and they do set up a nice split earth. Can they burn the refraction before the invoker goes down? Apparently we're not going to be able to see, because the auto director understands that this Legion is going to get whacked, whereas invoker does actually start to get away. They land a manage to split earth, but the Undying's TP does. That's a lot of healing on that soul rip. How many points does he have into it? He has 2 points. Only 2 points. Though I guess there were a lot of creeps. That's a lot of healing. A lot of... I just said a lot about 14 times in the same second. That's not very good. This is not... Sorry for any of if you get any slurping noise. I'm having a bit of a drink because my throat's a bit dry. This is much more relaxed, though. Just letting the auto director take care of all my problems. Let's have a look at the net worth now. Unsurprisingly, it's the two carries in the lead. Both have been having remarkably decent lanes, considering everything. I mean, Sven's was always going to be pretty decent, but Spectre's doing alright. Techie's deciding to farm, but also stack up those ancient camps. At least I assume that's him doing it. That'll be very helpful to TA, though I imagine Radiant might scout that one out. And, yep, they've left the position 5 here to soak some XP, so Legion will actually finally be able to recover. As you can see, really suffering compared to the Sven, even compared to the other offlaner. And, yeah, Techies is stacking, even suiciding to break those trees. He kind of understands clearly that he needs to accelerate this TA's timings as much as possible, because if he doesn't, they have one core for the first 15-20 minutes, probably a minimum, until TA gets Deso, because I imagine TA is going for Deso. We'll have a look. Yeah, going for Deso as you'd expect. And you still kind of need Deso Blink. You might even need Deso Blink BKB to really be efficient on this TA. Deso Blink, definitely, because there are some squishy heroes, but if you can't get on top of them, they have decent kiting mechanisms. Lesh will just die in one hit, so Invoker will blow up as well. But if you can't get near them, you have Ghost Walk, you have Split Earth, you have Slows. I mean, you have that, for example. You can't really walk up. Burning TA's mana is just the most annoying thing. Tombstone, not really halting the push. The Disco Pony just eats towers. And they do go for the dive on the Spectre. And yeah, they're going to win because, yep, we're starting to see the just power of the matchup. Spectre slow, Viper slows, Viper breaks. You kind of just deal with Spectre very naturally, but we are seeing the TA finally take the Ancient stack. Should see the skyrocket in net worth. Though Deckies is stealing some XP, but that's fine. This is more about gold. Yeah, look, already caught up to the opposing mid laner. Was down in the dumps a moment ago. Might even overtake him with the last dregs of it, but yeah, did overtake him with the ends of it. Almost caught up to the Viper even. Well, with the other stat camp, that's a lot. That's big. That's really big. That'll massively accelerate the Deso timing. They might actually have a hope of coming out of this. But there's the smoke. A little bit late. If they'd gone 30 seconds earlier, that would have won the game probably. If they could have denied that stack, that would have won the game. I would go as far as to say. But they're a little late, and they do manage to miss it. Obviously, they're smoking around bounty rune timings. It's not like it's specifically to stack the camp. They go there for bounty runes for a reason, but that's a nice set of mines from the Techies that does bring them down. Invoker overextended and is dusted up. At least I think he is. No, he's not. He does actually just about manage to get away. Viper standing there. TA just in the edge of the poison. Can't get away at the moment. Leshrac finds the Tekis in the back line, but that's not really what you want. TA almost goes down to the very last tick of the Lesh ult, but the duel finishes him off beforehand. That's costly. That's really put Dire in a good position. That's almost Desolator finished up on TA. That is, yeah. Obviously they smoked for bounty runes. They didn't smoke specifically to try and deny the stack because they obviously they knew the stack was there. You have to do this with TA, but they do get mid tower. It's certainly not terrible that they have a big tower advantage, and they have a massive gold advantage. Sven is doing very well, and if there hadn't been that perfect set of techies mines, that could have gone very badly. But it's not, you know, these small mistakes in execution, these bits of luck, these little touches here and there that are really covering the weaknesses, or rather they're not being exploited, I guess. Our weaknesses as draft are obvious. They're really slow, but as soon as they hit their timings, they'll still be... It won't be an easy game, even if they make it through this, but this is the hardest period of the game, for sure, when you're running basically a one-core setup. And this is a very, very stacked Sven, but he does have a Midas. He does have a Midas, and oh dear. Oh dear. That is not what you want to see. That was a 2 techies solo kills on the Sven. That was big brain from that techies. My god, man. That was impressive. I don't think I should leave it to auto director more often. I wouldn't have caught that. That was. I wonder if the auto director gets better on replays because it knows what's going to happen. I actually wonder. That would be quite clever. Because it's never all that good for live games. If you've ever noticed, it sort of just takes you away from the action constantly. But yeah, speaking of the action, once again, a nice big mana burn. Unfortunately, it's going to take more than burning mana to actually win this game. Lesh, though, doing God's work as a support, constantly pushing out that top lane, which is just so annoying. So annoying to deal with, almost taking that tier 2. And he just pulls so much attention up there, makes so much space. But they're going to have to clear that techies out. That Lesh might die if he's not careful. But he is aware. He is aware. They are aware that he's there. Blade Mail first on Legion, which I'm a little surprised about. I would have thought you'd be finding the initiation. And they're going to deal with techies purely from range. They're going to be very careful about this. Use the courier to scout it out and clear out the mines. Nice. I heard the mines go, and I saw something in the kill feed, and I thought, how has he done that? But no, it was fine. Absolutely fine. And that's the Desolator finished up. That's, in my books, that's a bloody quick deso. And this is the point where it starts to get interesting, because the TA can actually do something now. If they can get in, and they're going for this, they're going to try and go for this double blink dagger timing. I guess that sort of makes sense. There's no point for the Legion going in without Blade Mail pre-Deso blink TA, because nobody will die. So I do kind of understand it, but there's a Haunt committed to try and deal with this Leshrac, who is just absolutely committed to putting out the waves. And he will go down, but he has brought both of these guys right into the middle of it. They're a little bit split on the focus, which trying to get both kills, and they almost do manage it, but Spectre slips away, they pick up the TA. Not bad. Very much not bad. You'll take that trade any day, especially because it delays the blink, but Viper decides to get a little bit too greedy. But there's an RP from the Magnus, who looks like he blinked in. Probably didn't. Let's have a check. No, he actually has a blink. He actually does have a blink. He went straight blink rush. That's a surprise, and there's the Tornado to cancel the TP. That is a Cliffed Legion commander. They not happy about that. Probably absolutely dead. Not sure how the Sven can hit her up there, but there's the Sunstrike. Didn't actually finish it off. But that ooh, nice. Techies Mines will pick up the Invoker. They get more out of that than they actually should. But I am very surprised at that position 5 Magnus. I guess as a result of the Diagraph being so greedy, the Radiant have had all the time in the world to get whatever items they want. So he's just gone straight Blink Dagger. He probably farmed it up while I wasn't looking. and that Sven is still packing heat. It's dangerous. I mean, we just saw what the pony didn't really do much. He just baited them in, and then it was Viper and Invoker, and they were just crushing the 1 and the 2 position because they're just not ready yet. But when they get to this double blink timing on the TA and the Legion, that's when moves can be made. But I'm slightly worried the Legion's farm is going to really stagnate from this point on because it doesn't have a clear place to farm. You have 2 greedy cores taking most of your jungle. You can't play the bot lane, and the other 2 lanes are kind of being taken. So I'm a little bit worried about this Legion getting a really late blink. As you can see, kind of just standing around not knowing where to farm. If there isn't anywhere. And it's amazing that this Sven is still... I mean, he's got 2k on the next person, despite being consistently solo killed by the goddamn techies. Who, of course, is going Agnums, because all techies go Ags. Yeah, it doesn't help that he's taken farm as well. So you've got a greedy 4, and even that. But he gets punished for it, which is nice. We always like to see a techies die. And Viper deciding to... Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, normally I was wondering why he decided to absolutely hightail out of there. Because... You see a Viper, yeah, that can beat a TA even if it's a little bit further down, but no, definitely can't. And there's an RP and a God Strength. Spectre completely caught out under ward vision. They knew there was a ward there as well because that was where Legion got cliffed. You knew there was a ward there. There's no question about that. My question is either why hasn't it been dewarded or why are you playing under it? So I imagine the tilt has started. But this does look very Radiant-sided. I think it all comes down to draft. It's just too slow. And we've seen this. Very nice pick off onto the position 5, but position 5, you just got a kill on a 5 Magnus who doesn't have RP, and they got an Aegis. That's not really worth it, is it? But no, this game, they're starting to run out of ideas of things to say for this game because you can all see the writing on the wall. It's a bit over. But, so I'll just start talking about random stuff. Oh, no, here we go. Just as I start that, there's a bit of a kerfuffle down bottom, but a quick Glimmer Cape should keep Viper alive if he can juke well enough, but he didn't get into the trees before the Glimmer Cape ran out, so that will be it for him. One more tap from the TA will apply the anti-venom to the Viper, but Magnus is back, doesn't have the RP up yet, and they've moved away from the Tombstone though, which kind of really neuters the team fight. There goes the Magnus as well, but again, you're dueling a position 5 and you're losing heroes while doing it, all for a position 5. TA doesn't make it out. Very ambitious TP, they didn't even have anything to cancel it. That almost worked, which is remarkable. But it didn't. Now, what was I about to say? Yeah, I'm trying to get... I've been slacking on this a bit because of uni work and just generally do it. I mean, a mix of doing other things and just being stressed and so on because of, you know, all the stuff that's going on. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, now I'm back. I want to... And my goals have changed a little. I'm not so much looking to be a really good Dota caster. It's just have a bit of fun with it, prove that I can. Much like Undying really believed he could do something there. But, yeah, that's ambitious from the Legion Commander. They do catch the Sven out with a duel, but they don't manage to get him in time, and he still has an Aegis anyway. And there it goes. Cleaved in twain, literally at the end there. I'd be willing to say this is a bit too far gone. Much like Leshrak's brain there, I don't know why he thought he'd get away with that. But I guess he cleared the mines and they're taking tier 3s, so win-win. Yeah, great. If he dies to the mines, his Sven can't die, and that's what matters. Team player. But no, I'm not trying to be a great Dota caster. I'm just trying to have some fun with it, prove that I can actually put out content consistently if I put my mind to it, you know. So I can then use that to apply for things later, I suppose, if it ever comes up. You know, build a bit of a portfolio of work to prove I can work. Not that this is really like work to me. This is just me chilling, chatting about a game I like, and not even saying a huge amount of sense either. But who knows? I know of certain things that I'd want to apply for that require proof that you can in fact deliver content regularly, and this seems as good as any. I'm also planning to write a few short stories, maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I do mean short. You know, probably 1,000, 2,000 words. I don't really know what about, just random nonsense. But you know, not this week. I don't know when I'll upload this, so maybe it is this week. Probably not. Probably next week. Assuming I upload this, what? I think. No, actually, it will. Yeah, this week. Yeah, it'll be this week. Because I won't upload it today. I'll upload. Yeah, I've got 3. That'll carry me through to Monday. So yeah, it will be this week. And I keep talking to myself, but again, Sven is just sort of a. I'd say immortal, but we did just see him die. But he got back up. And the other team aren't so lucky. Tombstone does come down, but it's a little late. Spectre is quite sad and is about to get beaten up by a Viper. Oh no, Viper's lost. Speaking of lost, I do think this game is a bit of a lost cause for the Dire. I'm wondering if he does go for the Fountain Farm. Is he going to go for the Rampage? You got to go for the Rampage, man. You've got to. You can't not. Wow. Imagine actually trying to play. Imagine not fountain diving for a Rampage. Are you even a Dota player? And also, Sven, I know you're about to win the game, but use your Midas. Don't be inefficient. Oh, that's another thing. Going to be working on a stand-up routine. I've always wanted to do that, put together some stand-up comedy. I say always wanted to. I've had an urge to recently, which isn't really the same thing at all. Nice, Magnus diving into fountain to bring the kills out to his Sven. An absolute team player. What a lad. What a lad. But yeah, just an absolutely terrible draft from the Dire, and a nice Viper pick. What more can you say?